This is the Season Long Podcast in support of the YouTube channel SeasonLongBaller, and we have reached our awards. Now, obviously, the season is over now, and the Wizards did capture the title over the Minnesota Timberwolves 4-2. Check out our playlist. We'll have that in the description below. But now it is time for the awards. We held off on these until the season was over, and let's hop into it. Your MVP led most of the season. It is our player build. It's us. It's Jaymont Summerz, as you see the numbers here this season. And keep in mind, we do play 6-minute quarters, but Summerz averaged 27.4 points a game, tops in the league, 5.2 rebounds, 5.9 assists, tops in the league as well there. Shot 57.7% from the field and just a shade under 95% from the free throw line, which my goal was 95%, so missed that by just a little bit. And then shot just a hair under 48% from deep. We led the voting most of the season and finished with the most valuable player. The Rookie of the Year, no surprise here, just like in real life, Victor Wembanyama. Now, the difference for our league as opposed to the real life is Chet Holmgren was in the voting in ours as well, but he also played on our NBA 2K23 because he wasn't injured on NBA 2K23. So in a way, Chet Holmgren had a chance to win the Rookie of the Year twice in our simulations. He lost to me on NBA 2K23 and loses here to Victor for Rookie of the Year. Victor with 9.1 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 1.3 blocks. The Sixth Man of the Year goes to Russell Westbrook of the Clippers. 7.8 points off the bench, along with just over 3 assists. Shot 32.2% from deep and 47.5% from the field. Nicholas Claxton, the Nets center, finishes as your Defensive Player of the Year. That's probably a little bit of an upset. You probably don't expect that one. Winning it over such luminaries as Giannis Antetokounmpo and also Jared Allen from the Cavaliers. Claxton averaged 5.2 points, but also had half a steal a game and 1.2 blocks. Obi Toppin gets your Most Improved Player from the Indiana Pacers. I would beg to differ that, honestly, if the stats carried over from NBA 2K23 to NBA 2K24, that we would have got that award. No hate, of course, but Summerz averaged 17 points a game on NBA 2K23 to boost that to 27 points a game. Also increased the assist by about almost an assist and a half per game. So I think that really would have gone to us if there was a way to carry over those stats. You hear me, 2K? That'd be actually nice if you would let us carry over the stats from a previous season. And that's a good time for me to say here on Season Long Baller, we mirror the actual NBA season. And we are mirroring it through our player build, Jaymont Summerz, of the Washington Wizards. So when the Wizards play, we play, with the exception of the playoffs for obvious reasons. We were the 1 seed in the East for these playoffs, so we were going to try to mirror the Boston Celtics, but that kind of didn't quite work out. We did mirror the NBA Finals, which began on June 6th, so we did mirror those, but we obviously couldn't mirror the real Washington Wizards, and so we kind of adopted our own playoff schedule eventually after we kind of didn't follow with the Celtics. But during the season, and what we'll do on NBA 2K25, it'll be the same thing, is we will mirror the Washington Wizards schedule, and we'll talk about what's coming up here in the offseason in just a bit. Your Clutch Player of the Year, no shock here, Luka Doncic. A matter of fact, Doncic hit a deep 3 on us in our second meeting with the Mavericks with 0.3 seconds to go on the clock to send us to a loss. And the Mavericks were one of 2 teams, along with the Timberwolves out west, that we did not beat this season. Lost both times when we played the Mavericks and the Timberwolves. Your Coach of the Year, Wes Unseld Jr. Obviously, in real life, he's not even with the Wizards organization anymore. So it's again kind of strange that he would have, in theory, in our simulation, back-to-back titles and not be the coach of the Wizards. So we'll see what the Wizards do coaching-wise. But for us, I mean, a good job, a job well done, and not exactly anything to show for it. But you do get the Coach of the Year award here, Unseld Jr., in our simulation. Your Executive of the Year, a Tyler Jamison, one of the 2K players, one of the 2K creations, I guess you could say, gets Executive of the Year from the Philadelphia 76ers. So now let's take a look at your All-NBA teams. Your first team All-NBA is Summerz, and Doncic at the guards, along with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So you have 3 guards on this lineup, along with Giannis Antetokounmpo and Nikola Jokic as your 5 there. Joker rounding out that 5. Your second team, Trae Young, Joel Embiid, James Harden, along with Stephen Curry and LeBron James. So there is your second team. And third team, you got LaMelo Ball. Needless to say, he is healthy in our simulation, so he hasn't had the foot problems that he has had, unfortunately, in real life. And rounding out that team, you've got Butler, Tatum, Halliburton, and Sabonis of the Sacramento Kings. Now, your all-defensive team is Paul George. Wait. There's no way in the world. How is that possible? So, Jaymont Summerz is first. Yeah, that's what that. First team all defensive? I've complained about my defense all season long. And truth be told, I thought DeLon Wright did a better job, as our perimeter defender. I mean, he was the one that was guarding Ant in our NBA Finals. So how does this work? We were among the league leaders and points surrendered as a defender. So we didn't lead the league in steals or blocks. I don't think we were among the league. Maybe we were among the league leaders among guards in block shots. I don't know. I mean, a matter of fact, I was even going to say one of my goals for NBA 2K25 was going to be playing better defense and trying to make an all-defensive team. I didn't even think I'd make first all-defense. I don't know how that's calculated. I have to admit, I don't know. That is a shock to me. All-defensive first team. That'd be nice if it was in my contract, to get more money if you make all-defensive first team. That would be great. I should get some extra VC, right, 2K? That's crazy. I have no idea how that happened. I'll take it, but I have no idea how that happened. So on NBA 2K25, when I say, all defensive first team, player Jaymont Summerz, don't look at me crazy. It's right there, even if I can't believe it myself. All defensive second team, you've got Ant, Luka Doncic, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jimmy Butler, and Mitchell Robinson of the Knicks. Okay, I mean, Doncic usually doesn't have a reputation as a great defender as well, but I don't know. I can't say anything because Summerz made it. So there's not much I can say. I still can't get over that. Summerz on the all defensive first team. First team, too. Not second team. First team. All right, your all rookie team, Victor Wembanyama from the Spurs, obviously, along with Brandon Miller. As I talked about, Chet Holmgren, technically not a rookie in our simulation, but as you see him here. And you've got Thompson from the Rockets and Scoot Henderson from the Trailblazers rounding out your all-rookie first team. And much like last season on our simulation, there were only 3 players on the all-rookie team. And Bilal Coulibaly, just like Johnny Davis from the Wizards last season, Bilal Coulibaly is one of the 3. And Coulibaly did start the season very early for us, but then was replaced in the lineup by Denny Avdia at the forward, but Coulibaly did still play. And remember, during the finals, did have a one, I think it was game 2 or 3, had a really good game for the Wizards. So Coulibaly makes the all rookie second team, and I honestly think has a chance to be a starter in real life for the Wizards next season. And speaking of next season, so here's what we will be doing during offseason. We'll kind of keep going along with a few podcasts when we have things to talk about. We've got some live streams, some ideas for some live streams that we will do for the summer. Check out our series, Shooting the Breeze, Shooting the Rock. We'll do that. And then we'll talk about the real NBA draft. I mean, we were just talking about Bilal Coulibaly. That was the Wizards lottery pick last season. We'll talk about the real NBA season 2024 that is coming up. And, of course, NBA 2K25. Thank you for joining us for our awards season-long podcast today. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And I hope you have some great plans for this summer as you see what our plans are right here. That's going to do it for this edition of the Season Long Podcast. Thank you very much for joining us. It is much appreciated. That's it for Season Long Baller. Peace.